Yo, what's up? My name's Clarence.
And I'm DJ Nuna.
And you're listening to Up in the Air,
a podcast on our thoughts, moods, and experiences on the personal, political, and cultural world around us. Come float with us. For this week's episode, Clarence and I celebrate our 50th episode of Up in the Air. It's been almost 2 years since we've started, and it's only going up from here. Today we talk about our dreams and aspirations with the show, how we got started, as well as reminiscing our past guests and our favorite episodes. Thank you so much for tuning in. We hope you enjoy.
I think about when you used to do like our intro for. Let me lower my volume.
Welcome back to Up in the Air. Everyone used to tell me like, "Oh my gosh, your voice, ASMR." But then when I get excited, it's really shrill and like aggressive. I like, and also, dude, when I laugh, I'm like, have you noticed that before? Spencer called me out the other day. He was like, he's making the. I don't know why I do that.
No, I remember people would be like, when we're on the radio, they'd be like, why is Julie's mic sound like so quiet? And then Clarence is like, la, 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 la.
Wait, someone said it was like you're deep throating the mic.
That's what Steven said. Anyways, yo, what's up, guys? Thank you so much for tuning in to another week's episode. This is a very special one. It's our 50th episode. Up in the air.
I'm trying to copy you. But yes, everyone, welcome to our 50th episode. Time has really flown by. It's been almost in like January. It'll be 2 years since we started this show, which is wild to think about. Is it 2 years?
I think it's 2 years. It sounds so scary in a way too, because like all the time passed. What?
Mm-hmm. It's kind of a little bit frightening, not gonna lie, to think about, how quickly time has passed. It's already mid-October. We're almost about to wrap up 2020. We know it's been quite the hectic. I don't even know how to describe the year, not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's definitely a roller coaster that's been falling for a
That's just
long
been
time.
falling for
Yeah.
a year. But yeah, we just wanted to thank everyone for joining us on this journey. And I don't know, just listening to our experiences, listening to our guests' experiences and stories. Like, as you know, Clarence and I have really shifted our platform to YouTube and Spotify, but we kind of wanted to talk about how we got started, like our story, because we have some new followers, so
We're gonna indulge ourselves a little bit,
It was kind of funny. We did a interview with Recess Media recently, and we were like, oh, so this is what it feels like to be on the receiving end, like to be the ones interviewed. So yeah, it's been wild. We haven't done an episode, just Clarence and I, for I think around like maybe 10 episodes.
Yeah, it's been a while. I think it's because we've been trying to interview more people and have that other, outside perspective. So yeah.
I mean, Clarence, let's talk about you. Okay, let's do a quick check-in. How are you doing? How's the quarter? How's life? Mental health? How's your mental health?
Like mental health space.
I was gonna say, how's your headspace? And then I got the words mixed up.
Good. I mean, I think good. That's the only way I can describe it. I think it shifts. It's like different every day. I definitely feel a lot more tired, I guess, on the weekends because since school started, we kind of like go throughout the week, and you just feel like you have a lot of things to do all the time. And not that like I didn't feel that during the summer too, just because we both started our jobs at the arts and entertainment at UW, but I think it's definitely been feeling more busy, and so like because of that, it's time has definitely flown by even faster. So I feel like I'm trying to like hold on, you know, for the
Hold on.
ride.
It's like you're holding onto monkey bars and someone's like hugging your legs and trying to get you to slide off. Actually,
So-
that's never happened to me before.
You never played that game?
No, but
definitely
I
played
can
that.
imagine that happening.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, it's what we said, like a roller coaster of emotions and just everything, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
and you also feel so small in a way. Like, there's so much shit going on in our country, and
Yeah.
just like in everywhere you look in your social media, like it's in your face all the time. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a lot, but I mean, that's why I kind of value like doing this show and doing like and hanging out with like friends over Zoom maybe or socially distance, because it kind of just helps me slow down
Yeah,
and
for
like
sure.
take in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah,
don't you dare cut me off. No, what were you gonna say?
I mean, I was just gonna say that I agree that we started the show wanting it to be like low stakes, something that we look forward to each week, and I think we've been able to maintain that and have it change over time. And I agree, because most of our guests are like our friends or like people that we know kind of well and want to get to know better. And so yeah, I really like the types of interviews that we've been doing. They're very like casual. It's kind of like catching up with your friend on Zoom. But yeah, that's all I was gonna say.
I do feel like we've gotten a lot better too. Like I do get nervous sometimes, like before, if it's someone that I don't know. But I will say I don't feel like uncomfortable. You know, I remember like when we used to do it in the studio at Rainy Dog, and we have a person in, like I can just feel the tension in the air, because like the setup is kind of weird, right? Like we're all sitting at the desk and we're
You
all
can't like look at each other as
right.
one.
Like if you look at other podcast setups or like show setups where they can actually look at each other.
Right.
Yeah, so I think it's interesting how Zoom has kind of shifted our show in a way, right? Like we can see each other, but we can also see ourselves. I feel like that's kind of weird.
Yeah. I think even last week we had like 4 guests and they were all on one screen. But honestly, it kind of worked out nicely. But we definitely do miss, or not miss, because we've never really had the opportunity. But I think if COVID wasn't a thing, we would really want to explore like having a space for our podcast or like setting something up, because I think we miss kind of the face-to-face conversations. And even like just now on Zoom, there's like those whack moments where you're like and then you're just oh shit. So yeah, I feel you on that. But yeah,
how are you doing?
Oh,
I didn't
thanks
ask.
for asking. I'm doing well. Both Clarence and I are like, we're good, we're well.
Oh, great, it's awesome.
Low key, when I say well, I mean not well. Just kidding. But I think just trying to find balance in school, work, personal life, and personal projects. I really don't know how people. I don't know how I did this before the pandemic. I think.
Right, you used to have the most packed schedule, and I'm just like, how do you even get from one spot to the other?
Well, I'm
in
literally
that time?
running. I always tell my friends, because I don't know if anyone else has experienced this, but like I gained like the quarantine 15, and it's because when shit wasn't closed, I would like be running, or I would be like walking really fast from place to place, like on campus.
You be speed walking in those filas back in the day.
Dude, okay, I don't know if y'all have seen, but like there's that meme of like ASAP Rocky on like a small person's body, and he's like walking like this, and Clarence was like, "This is Jubilee listening to her EDM." But yeah, just trying to find balance. I don't think Clarence and I ever mentioned, but yeah, we started working for the arts and entertainment, and that's been like a really really good experience. I think.
I mean, definitely a learning curve in like how event programming is, and like the kind of timeline that before the actual event. So yeah, dude, it's been interesting and it's kind of fun. It's also very like it can be frustrating at times, trying to like figure out contract stuff and like we want this person but we can't get them, and then we go from like plan B, C, D.
Yeah.
Like it's a headache, but it's very rewarding at the same time.
Yeah, like once the event actually happens, it's like we did that, we conquered that. Like thank God it's done. But yeah, we got to interact with some really cool people. Obviously we don't get to physically interact with them, which I wish we had that opportunity. But just imagine like you're hopping on a Zoom call, and then it was just such a like wild experience. I hop on, I'm like 1 minute late because I'm always 1 minute late, but like No Name and Zach Fox and Lauren Tsai are just chilling, and like wait, I think I'm missing one person, Phoebe Bridgers. It's like this is the weirdest group of people, but it worked. Like
yeah, I mean it's also funny because I think like Zach Fox especially is friends with a lot of people, so in some ways he kind of knew all of them.
Look, like Zach Fox gets along with everyone. I feel like he's such an easy person to talk to, and same with No Name. No Name she was the one like really carrying the conversation and cracking
she
jokes.
Was
awesome. Yeah, my crush Lauren Tsai was on there. She was pretty reserved, I think. Maybe like the least connected to them out of everyone, but I private messaged her. I was like, hi, I love you. I didn't say I love you, but I just private messaged her. But yeah, that's been definitely like a highlight of the summer and of the school year. We're only like 4 weeks in to class.
Damn.
I know, right? But yeah, just trying to find balance. Been reminiscing a little bit here and there, but we thought this would be a good opportunity to kind of share like Up in the Air story and how we got started, because as you all know, we've changed and we've evolved a lot over the 2 years. But yeah, Clarence, how did we get started from
my perspective? Yeah, I remember I heard about Rainy Dog like maybe it was my junior year in the fall, and like Jubilee and I were both starting our design major, and so we became like friends. And then at one point she asked me to sign up to become a DJ, but I think initially it wasn't like for us to do it together. It was just like, oh, this is really cool, like you should check it out and sign up.
Really?
That's what I remember. And then
I thought we were gonna do it together from the get-go.
Well, and then like eventually kind of like just we both assumed that it was we were gonna do it together. But yeah, I signed up, and then like I remember thinking the process was it wasn't intense, but like there was a lot of things that we had to do. Like we had to get interviews and stuff like that, and like I was like, oh, like they're being so selective. There's only so many shows that can happen on campus. Dude. But then I remember like eventually we got it, and then seeing the schedule of the amount of different shows, it's like every hour, like 6 days a week, and I thought that was crazy. But yeah, I remember that's basically how it happened from my perspective. But what do you remember? Like what made you ask me in the first place?
Okay, because I always tell people this and they're so surprised, because they're like, oh, aren't you and Clarence like childhood friends? And I'm like, I've only known him for 2 years. I've known him for like the duration of Up in the Air, low key, like maybe like 2 months extra. But we met in design, low key. Shout out to Clarence and Sandra. Sandra's always tuning in, but they were like my first friends in EDUP design. It was a very scary space to be in. I think we're just such noobs to design. But yeah, found out about Rainy Dog. Shout out to Woke Brunch by Indri and Lena. They are the ones that introduced me to that entity, and I was like, okay, this could be kind of cool. And I think it's rare to find people that you kind of seamlessly mesh with, and you don't have to put up a guard always when you talk to them. And I think with Clarence, I felt very comfortable from the get go. Besides the fact that he always would call me soft, and I'd be like, I'm not soft. Like I'm not soft.
I'm not soft.
He'd be like soft, and I'm like, that's funny. But yeah, I just got him to apply. From my perspective, I thought we were going to do it together, but that is kind of like, you know, not ballsy, but like, yeah, we didn't know each other like super well. But we applied. I agree with you, Clarence. Like, the application was quite like tedious. They asked a lot about like your identity and like things that like shaped your identity. So I just didn't expect that for like a radio show. And I remember for the interview, that was pretty chill. But yeah, the process was really good. We got low-key feel like we got in because we talked about how we wanted to talk about our Asian identity.
Dude, honestly, I'm not saying that like I just use that a lot, but low-key in that moment I was like, what's gonna set me apart from anyone else? I don't know.
Like, no shade, but Rainy Dog is a very, very white dominated space as well, similar to like lots of other, you know, spaces at UW. But I remember like we went to an all Rainy Dog meeting, and I was like, me and Indri are like the only Asian peoples here, so good times. But
Yeah.
we really loved, you know, it was just very exciting, like starting something we've never done before. I was not confident in my speaking skills, really. I remember our very first show. Well, actually, our first show didn't work out as planned. It was it Memorial Day?
It was, yeah, I think so. Because our show originally was on a Monday.
Yeah, so our show was on Mondays at 8 freaking a.m. And the Rainy Dog people were like, show start next week. And we're like, oh my gosh, okay, let's prepare. Let's get this going. And so we pull up to the hub at 8 a.m. on a Monday. I'm hungover as fuck. And I literally could barely walk. I remember just like wearing a hoodie and just being like, Clarence. But it was closed. So then we started the next week. And I remember super vividly how fulfilling it felt. Like, we had our friends tune in. I think you added, I remember there was like a J. Cole song. I think it was called Tribe. That one just really stuck with me. Like, down, 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 down.
Oh, like with Boz?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And a D'Angelo song too.
D'Angelo song. I remember making, like, we had to make a playlist for our application to become DJs.
Yeah.
And so I borrowed a lot of songs off of that one. But yeah, I do remember it when you were like super hungover. We had to go to because the hub was closed, so we had to run to the art building because you needed to use the bathroom.
I was like, Clarence, don't listen to me.
I know. I like walked away, and then like I was gonna put on headphones, and then all sounds are. But I was just like, oh my god.
I was really like, I don't even know what the occasion was. I think it was my friend's birthday the night before, but that was a fun time. Also, yeah, Clarence and I, we were comfortable with each other, but not like super comfortable with each other. So yeah, that was embarrassing. I was like, but yeah, the actual first show was really fulfilling. Always a fun little story on like the name of the show. I think over time we've been able to kind of develop what Up in the Air actually means. Like Clarence kind of talked about how it's about like you're always changing over time, evolving, like you're never quite settling in one place.
A low-key bullshit answer, but it makes sense.
I know. I was listening to that. I was like, that actually works pretty well. So let's stick with that. But I remember I had asked Clarence, like, yo, can you figure out the name? I'm really bad with names.
Yeah, and then I was like, let me try. I like to say that I'm good at kind of like coining what
You
the,
are. Like,
the name
I think
is.
wording is, or like writing, like copywriting is your strength. One of your strengths.
Thank you, I appreciate that. But I remember like when you asked me to try and like figure out a name, I was like, man, I think a lot of good names for shows are kind of like phrases that are commonly used, you know. And so I kept thinking of like how like I didn't know what it was because we didn't have a solid idea of what the show was even gonna be like.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, like, you know, the name of it is still up in the air. And then you're like, oh, and I was like, maybe that's our name, up in the air.
Dude, it was honestly, I remember the night. We were working really late on a project and we were walking back to your car because I didn't drive then and Clarence drove me all the way back to my house. And I was like, I fuck with that. So it really like rolls off the tongue nicely, and I don't know, I think it's fun. It has really stuck with us, you know. I think some people like change their name over time, but I think as we've changed, we grow more into the name, you know. Like it, you know how like when kids are born, you're like, you don't look like a Raphael, and then as they get older, they look like a Raphael. Okay, sorry, Raphael's such a random name.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I think we definitely kind of molded into the name, and I think we more so like embraced it into the themes of our show.
Yeah,
the way that we sort of carry ourselves, because you know we always like to say like we're a work in progress, like we're constantly evolving and growing.
Whip, work in progress.
Oh my god.
But yeah, I think Clarence and I have changed a lot. I don't know if we actually, when you look at pictures of me 2 years ago, I'm like, who let me do my eyebrows like that? Or I don't know. Isn't it weird?
Wait,
like,
really?
Yeah, I think I finally like mastered the shape of my eyebrows, but maybe we will add a picture of us from the beginning.
I don't know if that's a good idea.
Clarence looks kind of the same.
I feel like I look the same.
Clarence
I think
low-key be looking the same.
Actually, I think my pants got baggier because of design
As
school.
they should.
Bro, I used to rock. I was rocking them skinnies for mad long.
Clarence, I'm so dead. You know those little plants behind you?
Yeah.
I thought those were beanie holders. I was like, wait a damn minute.
Those are all they're tiny hat holders.
They look like just like looks like your head.
Okay, that's fucked up. I don't know why you gotta cut me off. You know what? It kind of reminds me of in Spirited Away. Those like 3 head thingies.
My gosh.
Like, you know what I mean?
Oh my gosh. But
anyways,
besides Clarence's big head, we kind of wanted to talk about, maybe let's talk about some of our favorite guests, because actually I don't want to like be like, oh, I didn't like this guest, because I genuinely love all of our guests. But is there an episode that you feel like really proud of, or like was really memorable to you?
I definitely remember having when we had Ibrahim on the show. We have him on twice now, right?
Yeah.
And I remember the first time we had him, like, it was a lot easier on us because Ibrahim can like really just go into a subject and like talk about it, you know?
Yes.
Which I love because like
I love it so much.
it just makes our job easier in a way where we can kind of just sit back and we don't have to try to fill. I mean, not that like silence is bad, but like for a podcast, it kind of is, right? Like you want to hear
Yeah.
something, so it was nice to have that and just like really get a feel for how we can have someone on the show that feels comfortable enough to go at lengths. But
Mhm.
I remember that, and like that was fun for sure. Being
That's facts. I think Ibrahima can really make you feel like a comedian because he just makes you feel like you're the funniest person, which is the best feeling. I feel like, I don't know. Do you feel that way?
yeah, because normally like you're not funny, so then like he can make you feel.
I walk into these types of things. I'm like, I knew Clarence was gonna say that.
You make my job so easy, bro.
I still say that. I remember Clarence sent me this meme because at the beginning of quarantine, I cut my hair to like my chin, and he sent me this freaking meme of Mike Wazowski mixed with with Sully, and the girl and the hair that's like, I need to enter the picture here. Like, oh my God, I fucking hate you. But anyway, dude, Ibrahima was such a good guest, and just a good friend. I think.
Yeah.
He's also in the design program. Has just been such a consistent and amazing friend. We've definitely grown together over time. Like both Clarence and I, one of our very first design collaborative projects was with Ibrahima and Annabelle, and wild how it's been 2 years since that project.
I know.
Is wild to think about. So
yeah, and that was a very difficult project too. Like it was, so we were stuck in the mud together for a bit. And then,
I was slumped every single day, and I was commuting at that time too. So, and Clarence still commutes or commuted as well. But yeah, I'm trying to think of a.
Yeah, like who's your maybe? Yeah, it doesn't have to be favorite guest, but just like memorable and that you felt really good about.
I mean, this was like really recent, but I really thoroughly enjoyed our interview with the Groovy Tapes team because I think that has also signified like a relationship that's changed over time because I don't know them super well, but I know Koi pretty well, and the fact that we met like my freshman year of college and now it's my 5th year in college, and oh my goodness, I can't believe I've known Koi for like 5 years then, but the fact that he's connected me to people that we both like really admire each other's work. And yeah, Corey was someone that I had only talked to on a more like somewhat professional, like just for like logo work and stuff, but now like getting to know them personally, getting to know their story behind the Groovy Tapes, and like Clarence didn't know any of them besides Koi, and I didn't know Tavares at all, like I've never talked to him. But yeah, I think that's been what's really inspiring to me, something that stood out to our past episodes. And yeah, I was telling Clarence this, but like last night on the Up in the Air Discord, we played Among Us, and like Tavares was there, Koi was there, like a bunch of different people in different groups were playing, and it was just really fun. Like it feels good to have some like new connections, new community, new faces. So that's my favorite so far.
I like that one too. I thought it was really. We also haven't ever had that many people on the show at the same time, so that was definitely new. Yeah, I wish like we could have a studio space with like microphones for everyone. It'd be so much nicer. But
one day, I really hope so. But Clarence, who is your dream guest to have in the future? The sky's the limit.
The sky's the limit. Damn. I feel like
it's hard. I feel like I know who you would do.
Really?
I feel like you would have Anderson .Paak.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I want Anderson .Paak and the Free Nationals all together. Because I feel like they are just a lot of fun. But man, I wish like we could do sort of a hybrid show too, where like we can have them on and then have them perform.
It's like a
And like
tiny desk podcast.
yeah, one of the shows that I really like is Broken Record with gosh, what's his name? I forget his name. Anyways, it's called Broken Record, and he interviews like maybe a musician, like he calls it fresh finds. Like he interviewed Burhana, and then like maybe like 20-30 minutes in, Burhana performs a song, and then they talk right after again.
That's so dope.
And he performs one more song, and then they talk, which is like super dope, right? Like to have the live music, and you can immediately talk about the song and talk about like the story behind it. So I feel like that would be a dream guest to have Anderson .Paak. I feel like he has a lot of stories, and I like how he's kind of really just rooted in like his community and the culture, and he's been around for so long, and I think his fame is long overdue. But yeah, what about you?
I mean, really briefly, I sent Clarence a old music video by Dumbfounded, and Anderson .Paak was in. What was his old stage name?
Breezy Lovejoy.
Breezy Lovejoy. I literally was shocked when I saw him because I was like, that is Anderson .Paak. But it's really amazing to see artists evolve over time, and you can also see like just how they carry themselves, that they're really humbled in like their journey and like how they came to be famous and well known.
That just like gives me hope that like us grinding it out for however many years, eventually it will pay off.
Definitely. I think we're always freaking out about the future when we're young. We're really young. We're in our early 20s. Like this is the beginning of, unfortunately, 40 plus years of working. Like unfortunately.
Well, when you put it that way.
Whoever invented the 40-hour work week, fuck you. Just kidding. It was Henry Ford. I looked it up, but for me, I mean, I recently, because Clarence and I were talking about for A&E, if we could bring anyone and the sky was the limit, who would it be? And this might be cliche, but I really would like to talk with the cast of Euphoria, more specifically like Zendaya, Hunter Schafer, and Alexa Demie as well. I mean, I just have a crush on Alexa Demie.
You have a crush on all of these people, so
everyone. But I think I was rewatching Euphoria, and I was just like, this was honestly just a game changer in terms of like shows that I've watched and like deeply admire. I think like addiction is such a hard thing to talk about and also depict in a realistic and honest way, and also like the other topics that they cover, like abuse, both emotional and physical, and sexuality and gender. So I don't know, I'm super proud of Zendaya because she's come a long way. Like she came from Shake It Up from Disney Channel, and
I remember watching her. She like performed at an award show with Mario. It was like,
really?
Let Me Love You.
Really?
Yeah. And I'm just like, wow, like that's crazy that she also just like her transition, like from that kind of Disney Channel and shit.
I mean, doesn't that say something about our careers? Like, when she signed the Disney contract, she's probably like, I mean, at the time she's probably really excited, but maybe she was like, fuck, am I gonna be stuck in this industry for the rest of my career? But no, like, she really traveled far, and I will say that Zendaya, out of all like Disney children's stars, has come really far from like the original starting point of her career. Because like, I guess Miley Cyrus is making her own music, but I still see her as Hannah Montana.
Hannah Montana.
And who else? Oh, Bella Thorne. I don't. Yeah. No comments. But yeah, that's kind of who I would want to talk with, and I agree with you. I just stuttered low key. I agree with you. That there's a lot of people that I really admire and like I love, especially as artists. But I love it when they are also just you can really see who they are in their work, and you can tell that they're like good at talking to people or like have a lot of stories to share. So
I'm like imagining logistically scheduling all like those people to be at the same like podcast thing. You know,
yeah.
that'd be insane.
I can't even imagine. I think especially since Clarence and I got a glimpse in like the contracting slash scheduling process is kind of a nightmare. Or there's so many people involved, like with their.
What if like we could just show up on set and just be like, "Hi guys, we're gonna do a
We're like the
podcast with
new
you."
like journalists. We're like all gas on breaks. Like
That'd be so fun though. No, I like that idea though. I feel like the more people the merrier in a way too. Everyone has their own story and like their own path and aspirations and whatnot. So
yeah,
super dope.
for sure. I think as we continue to, I mean, we'll see, you know, where Up in the Air goes, because I've had some not scary but just some like intimidating thoughts on like, yeah, what does the future hold for Up in the Air? Like what, like post grad, what will that look like for both Clarence and I? Thankfully most of my friends, even when they graduated, they still all live in Seattle for the most part, except for one friend. But it's wild to think like how convenient it has been for Clarence and I to, you know, continue this because of school or like our program. Like that's really kept us close. Not saying that we're not gonna be close, but like yeah, the future is.
Nah, bro. After college, I'm gonna fucking cut
Bye.
you off.
But I'm gonna start it with actually I don't fucking know, but yeah, we're excited. 2 years in the making.
Let's say ideally, where do you see the show going and like becoming? Maybe like 3 years down the road, or like even
3 years from now.
Maybe a year from now. Ideally, where would you like to see
It's
this?
funny because Clarence and I have not talked about this.
So I really want to hear it.
I kind of want to know too. Well, you know, we talked a little bit about it when we were on the call with Rocky, but I think like Clarence and I have skills outside of being good hosts or like conversationalists. That's not a thing. Conversationalists.
I don't really know.
Okay, people that converse well, but like I think we both have, you know, our vision in our own like design work and our art, and like Clarence is really, or we're both into photo, so it would be kind of cool to explore outside of, you know, the podcast. I think Up in the Air has a lot of potential to become even like a brand known outside of just a podcast, and it's been a dream for me to start my own brand and eventually in the future. I've always been exploring or wanting to eventually sometime in my life start a creative agency. I don't know if it'll be like directly with Up in the Air, but I feel like Up in the Air has the potential to turn into that, considering like Clarence and I's skill set and like a lot of the other people that we know too. But yeah, I'm excited to see how the brand evolves, and I also will hope to just interview people that have both small but also really big platforms. I would hope that we can eventually, you know, have conversations with those people as well. But how about you?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's, especially thinking about it now, it's been super cool to stand behind something, you know, and like especially this summer, like having created the page and like we established that YouTube channel and put ourselves on Spotify. So I mean, if we could do that in a pandemic, I can only imagine what we could do, you know, beyond that. But I think for me, ideally, I would like to see just this thing grow and like, yeah, like I want to like get real equipment for myself. Like that'd be so cool. And like if we could do the show in person, that'd be I think that would just like help us um, smoothen it out in a way, and like really like get into the feel of it, like really figure it out and like establish our show. I think, yeah, I feel like we could overuse it. We're like, oh, we're constantly growing, but I think like at that point, I can imagine ourselves really just being aware of what we want the show to be at that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, bigger guest.
Anderson Pack.
More merch, maybe. That'd be so cool.
Who wants bucket hats? Please let us.
Yeah, I'm like, what's a good piece of merch? Like I feel like hoodies are always, you can't go wrong with hoodies.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's it. Maybe it is a bucket hat.
We would need to order an extra large size for Claire.
God, you were gonna say that. Oh man.
Oh my gosh, people are like, damn. That's the only thing I can really actually joke with Clarence about. Like, he's not that easy to like make fun of. Where I, on the other hand, I'm like, I think I'm just an easy target for people to make fun of. I'm that one friend that everyone teases, and I'm like,
I don't think I'm a hard target.
Oh yeah, like I guess.
Okay, don't. Wait.
The Android jokes.
Yeah, whatever.
But yeah, I think we wanted to make this episode like short and sweet because we have a lot of fun guests coming up post, the 50th episode. So yeah, we wanted to wrap it up with, did we decide song of the week or album of the year?
Holy shit.
Holy fuck.
Let's say,
or should we do like favorite bro, I don't know.
Like, should we do that? So maybe not music related? Like, is it
like what if we did like our favorite photo we've taken? Because we're both photographers.
Photo. That's a good one.
Yeah. I gotta look.
Maybe let's say favorite photo within the last year.
Okay.
And I feel like you've taken a lot. Like, you've done a lot of socially distanced shoots with people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's been very enjoyable.
You wanna go first, or you want me to go first?
Yeah. So, y'all, I'm looking through my Instagram, and I would say shout out to this girl who I don't know that well. I went to middle school with her. She's my sister's year, but I really liked her style, so I reached out to her and I was like, "Yeah, do you want to shoot?" And she said yes. I've been getting more comfortable just reaching out to people that I'm like, I really fuck with your style. Can we shoot? Like, we both benefit from it. But I had a lot of fun with this shoot right here. I'll insert a more high-fi photo in the podcast, but this was taken on a bed sheet on the ground. I cut up some daisies. It was at my favorite park, which I'll put everyone on. It's really low-key. It's the Magnolia Viewpoint Park, and it was just perfect, like golden hour lighting, and super easy to work with, and felt really organic and natural. So that was my favorite shoot overall, and also my favorite picture was with like the mesh over her face. I was like, is this uncomfortable to you? And she's like, make me uncomfortable. And I was like,
wow,
that's the energy I need. So
I feel like that's always so nice when you work with someone who's just like down to do whatever.
For real, I was like, oh my gosh, my dreams come true. But yeah, how about you, Clarence?
I had one in mind. It's actually the most recent photo I took. It was my mom's birthday, and I
fuck with it so much.
My mom's she's not afraid of being in front of the camera. Like, she's very experienced.
As she should.
Sure. But I think like what I really liked about the photo that I took recently, and kind of we did, a bunch of other ones that I didn't post, but it just like really captured her energy, like as a person, and like she's confident and like she's doing her own shit. She's not a huge like big person either. Like she's kind of small, but like she carries a lot of that like powerful energy, like, and she's unafraid to be herself. So I like that picture a lot because I thought it was really a nice way to like. It was a small gift to her doing a photo shoot, but also just like, yeah, I was just really happy with how it turned out and how it captured her aura.
Dude, it's a beautiful photo. Clarence's mom is freaking beautiful and also just really kind-hearted. I've met her like a couple times. One time I met her at the bar at Clarence's birthday gathering.
Oh yeah, I invited my mom to my birthday.
That's how cool she is.
But no, I that's funny. I remember I was like, do you remember Jubilee? And she was like, yeah, I remember Jubilee. And then like she like sees you, and then she's like, who's that? And I'm like, Jubilee. And she was like, oh. I think it's because she just was like, you have too many friends. Like, who is that? Like,
So yeah, I think the last time I went to your house recently?
No, it was another time. But I mean, that time it was different just because you were wearing a mask. But...
Yeah. She speaks to me so, she's like, hey, beautiful. I'm like, but yeah.
Me?
I was like, wait, was she talking to me? But yeah, we will, at the end of this, we'll show a quick clip of both of the photos because it's been a year for us to explore a little bit. COVID has, I know for a lot of creatives, has stunted a lot of, just your mind, honestly. Like, I've had creative block so much this year, but Clarence and I are really grateful to be able to think outside of our comfort zone, explore different mediums, different pathways and rhythms. So we're so thankful. Shout out to all of our guests that we have featured. We're so thankful for everyone's time. But yeah, our contacts will be, in the description if you want to follow us.
Please, I need clout.
Follow us on Instagram and look out for the merch. You never know when it's about to drop. Actually,
Facts.
But okay, thank you again, everyone, and stay up in the air.
Nah.
Wait, I love the kind of the lingo we have going on, because we're like on Discord we have a float channel, and then we kept saying like the sky is the limit, and I'm like, I kind of like this lingo.
It's like kind of corny in a way, but it's like
works.
a good corny.
But yeah, thank you again, everyone, and tune in next week.
Peace.